Hello, my dear friends. We are back again, and I hope you remember the topic that we are dealing with. The last class we saw how serious it was, the Bhopal gas tragedy. How many people lost their life? How many people became maimed, handicapped, and people are still suffering because of that poisonous gas. And we may see that it was an American company and they used their influence to reduce the compensation. The compensation what was demanded was not given, but very little was given by them and they just escaped. And the company was given to someone else and they refused to take up the responsibility of cleaning up the waste that the company has created there. So the foreign companies they come to our country and they do not follow the rules of the country. They just influence the political leaders and they do whatever they want and they try to make maximum profit at the expense of the workers. So today let us see why or what is the worker's worth. We can see in your textbook page number 126 what is a worker's worth. So if we are to understand the events leading to Bhopal gas tragedy, we may ask, why did this American company, the company's name was or factory's name was Union Carbide, why did they set up in our country, their factory? So there are many reasons are there. Why do the foreign companies come to India and set up their factory in India? So one reason is that the labor is very cheap in India. The labor charge is very cheap. Suppose this gas tragedy had occurred in America, then the company had to pay very huge huge compensations. But in India, they were able to escape by giving very less amount of compensation because the rules in abroad are very strict and they cannot escape. But in India, the rules are not very strict. Therefore, they can just bribe somebody, the political leaders, and they can escape. That is what happened to India. So they came to India because the labor is very cheap. Labor charge is very cheap. If they were to bring workers from America and work, or if they set up a factory in America, they have to call the local people, American people to work there, and their salary will be very high. And so the profit of the company will be very less. But if they set up in India, they can call the workers from India and make them to do the work, and the payment will be very low. Labor charge will be, the salary will be very low. That is one advantage. And wages that the companies pay to the workers, say in USA, are higher than what they have to pay to workers in India. That is what we say. The labor charge in America is very high, but in India it is very low, very less. Therefore, they like to come and start their industry or their factory in India so that they can call people from India to work and pay less salary. Paying less salary means the owner will get more profit. That is the intention. So in America, there are also other privileges for the workers. Not only just paying the salary, they also have to pay some kind of facilities. For example, they have to pay the quarters for staying. The workers should be given the company quarters, then the electricity charge, the water charge, all this, the vehicle, all these facilities should be provided. That is the rule in America. But in India, all these rules are not there. Just pay the salary enough, the workers will manage by themselves. So that way, the company is saving a lot. They have less expense if they start their company in India because the Indian labor rules are not very strict. Therefore, they can easily escape by paying less salary and not taking up the responsibility of the worker's life. And so, we said when we are talking about the Bhopal gas tragedy, it was not the first time it was leaking. It was leaking before also, and one person had died already. But the company did not bother because they know to go for repairing that they have to spend a lot of money. Then their profit will be less. So therefore they did not bother to repair that leaking. They just continue to work and put so many people under risk. So many people lost their life just because of their profit oriented. Their intention, their purpose was to make maximum profit. That's why they were able to they were not able to care for the people's life. They were just caring only for their own profit and so on. So they provided lower working conditions. So as I said, in America there are certain conditions are there. The workers should be provided such and such facilities. But in India no such rules are there. Just pay them salary enough, they go and live anywhere. So that way in India the safety conditions are not there, the other facilities are not there, and therefore the company can make any rule and the poor workers they have to accept that, they have to obey that conditions given by the company. That is the problem there. So because of all these advantages, the foreign companies they like to come and work in India and get maximum profit. So labor charge is less, the safety conditions are not there, the other facilities and privileges are not there. Therefore, the less payment is required for the workers and the company will have maximum profit. So that is the advantage of foreign companies coming to India and starting their setup, starting their business and so on. So let us see one example. In 1980 to 84, the work crew from MIC plant was cut in half from 12 to 6 workers. So one factory in 80 to 84, there were 12 workers were there and they cut down 12 workers, they reduced into 6. And the period of safety training for workers was brought down from 6 months to 15 days. So the rule of the company is that the workers who are working there, they should be given training for 6 months, how to work safely, how to escape danger, how to escape themselves when there is a serious problem and so on. So company said, why to waste this much time, 6 months, let them start working. So company said, you do training only for 15 days, then you start working. So they are supposed to work for 6 months. 6 months means at least 180 days. So that was reduced to 15 days, just 2 weeks. So that shows company is not showing much interest to the lives of the people, the safety of the people. They want the people to start working straight away. So by giving them training for 6 months and wasting the time, company is not ready for that. Just gave them very minimum training for 2 weeks and told them you start working. And the post of the night shift worker for the MIC plant was abolished. Then there was also night shift worker was there. So some people will be working at night, some people will be working during the day. So day and night the work will be going on. So all that the problem, government or the company abolished all that. They made them all to work together. So instead of shifting night and day, they just abolished that one and made the people to work during the day. And let us see the story about that UC, Union Carbide Company, which made thousands of people die in Bhopal. So let us see about their comparison between UC safety system in Bhopal and also in US. So this company is American company. They have, let's see what rules are they following in India, their company in India and their company in America. So in America, the rules that they are following is different from the rules that they are following in India. Let us see, let us compare and see. So at Virginia, that's a place in America, and the company is there. They have a factory there, and computerized warning and monitoring systems were in place. So in this Virginia, there is a warning system, computer monitorized. That means if there is any leakage, gas leakage or any danger is there, the computer will recognize it and immediately start giving warning so that people can run to the safe place and save their life. So that is there. But in Bhopal, there was no such facilities. There was no computer monitoring of this danger situation and so on. They just relied on manual gauges and human sensors to detect gas leaks. So here there was no computer to find out whether gas is leaking or not. The people had to use their own sense, their nose, to get any smell. If the gas is leaking, then there will be some smell. So then they have to give information, gas is leaking, all run. So you can see how the company was trying to save money for them and risk the lives of the people. So in America means they're afraid to cancel all these things, but in India it is possible. They can cancel anything, nobody will question them. And so because the laws in India were not so strict, and so at the Virginia plant, emergency evacuation plans were in place but non-existent in Bhopal. So again, in that Virginia American factory, in case of emergency, in case of danger, there was a emergency evacuation plans. There is a plan to evacuate. Evacuate means rescue the people from inside to, or remove the people from inside the factory to safer place. That is called evacuation. So there was a plan. In case of emergency comes, in case of danger comes, what shall we do? How shall we save the people? All the plans were there ready. But in Bhopal, nothing was there. They never thought about danger. They never discussed about the emergency situation and so on. So they just cancel all those requirements in India. That shows they did not care for the workers in India because the laws were not very strict in India. So they took advantage of the loose law or the less strict law, and they tried to make maximum profit for the people, and they did not care for the lives of the people. And why are such differences in safety standards across the countries? So we saw what are the safety conditions in America and what are the safety conditions followed in India and so on. So it is only same company, but when they do work, start factory in America, one law. When they start factory in India, another law. Why are these such kind of differences there? So we may ask why. So even after the disaster happened, why was the compensation to the victims so low? So the disaster happened, so many people lost their life, and then the compensation was paid very low. The company was not willing to pay the required amount of compensation. They just paid a very little amount of compensation and they just escaped. They sold the company to somebody else and they just escaped. So why? So one part of the answer lies in what is perceived as the worth of an Indian worker. So we can see they do not care for the Indian worker, whether they live or die. The company did not care because it is not their own people. So they just aimed at their own profit only. They did not bother much about the lives or the facilities of the people. So if one worker dies, they'll call another worker. They don't care. They don't care for the lives of the Indian worker. They just wanted somebody to work there. Since there is so much of unemployment, There are many workers who are willing to work in unsafe conditions in return for a wage. So they took advantage of the situations in India, because in India there is so much of unemployment is there. So much of people are struggling to live. They have nothing to eat. So they are ready to work even in a dangerous situation, in a dangerous condition, provided they are able to get some wage. So they are longing for some work. That is why they are not worried about all these safety conditions. They are not worried about all these facilities. They just get some money, that is enough, because that is something better. Otherwise they will be starving, their family will be struggling to survive, and so on. So because of this poor situation, the foreign companies, they are taking advantage of the Indian worker, and they know if one worker dies, give some little compensation, then somebody else will come and work in that place. And so they don't care much about the laws and the rules and so on. And making use of these workers vulnerability means that the tendency to work even in the dangerous situations because of their poverty. So the company knows there are many poor people are there, and they are ready to work. Even if less salary also, they are ready to work. Even if dangerous situation also, they are ready to work. So when the company knows about the poor vulnerability condition of the workers, the employers, the owners of the company, they just ignore the safety directions, safety laws in the workplace. They know even if it is a dangerous place, they are ready to come and work. Therefore they don't care. And thus, even many years already, this Bhopal gas tragedy took place, and still there are many reports of accidents in the construction sites, in the mines and factories, due to careless attitude of the employers. So that gas tragedy took place many years ago, and even after that there are many factories are still working in Bhopal. Some of them are in a very dangerous situation. Some of them are factories, some of them are mine. They have to dig deeper, go down, collecting the coal and other precious things. And so all these places, there are laws are there. What are the facilities should be provided to the workers? What are the safety conditions should be provided to the workers, and so on. Everything is written down there. But these companies, these employers, these officers, they don't care for this, because they know the laws in this country are not very strict. Therefore they try to take advantage of this situation, advantage of the situation in this country, and they try to make maximum profit for themselves by ignoring the laws of the country, by ignoring the rules of the country, and giving no importance to the life of the workers, and so on. So what the government can do is make the laws very strict, and make sure that these companies, whether it is an Indian company or foreign company, make sure that they follow it. They follow it very strictly, and the lives of the workers are in safe conditions. So if you make the laws very strict, then we will be able to improve the working conditions of the workers. Otherwise, like Bhopal gas tragedy will take place again, and more people will lose their life. And we know still people are suffering, still some people are waiting for compensation, and so on. So what happens in our country is there is a lot of corruption. These officers or these employers, they try to influence the politicians or the officers who are supposed to inspect the working conditions, the safety conditions. They pay them some money, some gifts, and then they close their eyes. Okay, they'll say everything is okay. And it is the poor people who are at risk. Their lives, their families, everything will suffer in case of a danger, in case of a explosion in case of a gas leak and so on. So we need to think about the working class of our country. They are risking their life for the sake of their family, for the sake of this company, for the sake of the country, and so on. So we need to care for them, we need to give importance to their life, and we need to make sure that their life is not in danger. So then only more and more people will be able to work in a healthy atmosphere and continue to improve, continue to increase the financial condition, the economic condition of our country. Otherwise their life will be in danger. If they die, their family will be in a dire need, they will be abandoned, and more poor people will be created in our country. So let us avoid that by providing clean and safe working conditions to the workers and giving them all the necessary things what the law requires, and so they will be able to work at peace, they will be work in a safety condition without much risk to their life. So let us do at least so much so that our country will be able to come up, and the poor people also will be able to come up in their life and improve their financial situations. So we shall wind up for today, and next class we shall see again about what are the safety laws that are required for the people to work in different situations, in different conditions, and so on. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day.